Well, hello, folks, and welcome back to another episode of the Hampton Roads Urban Gardener. My name is Galen Callahan, and I'm the Horticulture Extension Agent in the city of Hampton for Virginia Cooperative Extension. And today, in honor of National Pollinator Week, which is June 16th through the 25th this year, we'll be looking at some of the pollinator-friendly plants in my garden. This is going to be a two-part series because I've incorporated so many pollinator plants in my garden these last 2 years, and I want to make sure I dedicate enough time to everything. So let's look at the pollinator plants that I have growing in my front yard. Then we'll look at the backyard on the next video. Not all of these plants are native to the area, and some of them do frustrate me due to their higher maintenance requirements. You may not have those issues. So for example, I have purple aster in my landscape and it's impacted by the two-spotted spider mite. So I do have to use pesticides on an annual basis. And at the same time, I know other gardeners in Hampton Roads who also have purple aster and they do not have this issue with spider mites. But I love this plant, I love this purple, and it draws out a lot of pollinators when it gets going in the summer, so I make the effort to keep it around. Now, purple aster is native. It enjoys full sun to part shade conditions and well-drained soils. It can grow up to 5 feet under optimal conditions. So this is my butterfly weed because behind purple being my favorite color, I absolutely love orange. Second, and this plant blooms orange. With that said, I've never seen it bloom because the monarch butterfly caterpillars devour this plant. Hellebores may not be on your radar, but it is a pollinator-friendly plant. This plant starts flowering in February and March, and the little flower heads that you see here do provide nectar on those warm winter days that we occasionally receive. The flower heads that you're looking at are spent at this time. It's a little too warm. And this plant will start going dormant soon due to the heat. But if you're looking to provide food for your pollinating insects during the winter and have shade conditions, try hellebores. It's going to stay low, growing up to 2 feet. These next two plants, in addition to the aster, also frustrate me, but it's due to their spreading and suckering nature. So one would be my Virginia sweet spire, and the other one would be lamb's ear. The Virginia sweet spire is native, and the main plant is low maintenance itself. However, it suckers, and I will have to dig these new plants out and find new homes for them, or I'll have more 5 to 6 foot plants growing in my landscape, which I do not want, but I do love this plant. It has white blooms, which came on earlier this spring, and they smell absolutely wonderful. I have this plant growing in part shade, but full sun works too. As a bonus, the leaves will change color to red as they go dormant in fall. The other plant mentioned, lamb's ear, is another spreader. It's non-native and it's in the mint family. So think rhizomes or those underground roots that's notorious in the mint family. But it's not nearly as aggressive as, say, culinary mint. I reduced the size of this plant by about half from what you're seeing in this video every 2 years. Otherwise, it'll take over my garden, which may not be bad considering it's outcompeting the dollar weed in the background there, but I digress. It is a ground cover. I love it for its soft texture, and when it's not raining, it's loaded with bumblebees when I come home from work. Lamb's ear grows well in full sun, but does okay in part shade. The final pollinator plant that I have in this garden is Autumn Joy sedum. So I want you to focus on the plant and not on the weeds in the background. That's something that I have to take care of. But I transplanted this sedum a year ago, so it's just starting to rev up production. It thrives in full sun, but it will take part shade. Your blooms won't be as prolific, and you probably won't see that compact growth like you're seeing here. This is a late summer bloomer and will last through the fall and will grow up to 2 feet. And that's it for my front yard as far as pollinator plants. I'll go over the pollinator plants in the backyard next time, but keep in mind these are just a few of the many examples of pollinator-friendly plants you may want to consider for your garden. There are many pollinator-friendly plants out there, but you do have to be mindful of your growing conditions and the height of the plants that you want. And I also am considering the full spectrum of our growing year. So I have something blooming in the winter, spring, summer, and fall. So the pollinators can enjoy some source of food, whether it's nectar or pollen, throughout the year. But I hope you have enjoyed this video. And until next time, happy gardening.